friends, I am going to show you a method of growing seeds and starting seeds using a milk jug. So this is kind of popular around some circles, but basically it's called, some people call it winter sowing, some people call it the milk jug method. There's different names for it and different ways of doing it. So some people do winter sowing, where you cut this up, which I'm going to show you how to do in a minute, and then you add soil, and then you plant seeds inside of your soil, and then you set them outside in the winter time. So this could be in January, it could be in December, whenever you just get around to doing it, you can put them in here and set them outside. And the idea is that they will start germinating, your seeds will start germinating whenever nature says it's time for them to germinate. So that's kind of the idea behind it. And I actually was planning on doing this last season, and I never got around to doing it. I wish that I did, and I wanted to, but I didn't. But I actually read, a friend of mine shared, I actually collected a bunch of milk jugs, and then this friend of mine was asking if anyone had milk jugs that they could save and give to her. And I was like, hey, I've got a whole bunch, you can have them, because I'm not going to use them. And so she actually sent me a blog post about the milk jug method, which is really similar to winter sowing. But she, instead of putting her seeds out in the winter time, she waited until she would normally start her seeds. And her reasoning for that was in Kentucky, and I don't know where you live, but most likely in Kentucky, because that's, I think, most of my followers. But wherever you are, here at least, we have crazy weather. And so you can have 60-degree weather in January and then 5-degree weather in February. I mean, it just, it varies, maybe not 5, maybe like in the teens. But there's a huge variation of weather and temperature, and that makes it really hard for seeds to germinate and thrive. So they might start germinating on a 60-degree day or a couple 60-degree days, and then a big cold front comes through and kills them all. So I know that doesn't happen all the time with winter sowing. I know I have friends who have done winter sowing and had really good success with it, but I just wanted to try a different method, and maybe I'll get around to trying the winter sowing method later. But next season, I think I'm going to do this method of just putting them out whenever I would normally start seeds. So I'm going to show you with this milk jug what I do, and I am going to start cutting. I have some scissors, and actually I just remembered, I always start with the cutting first, and then I remember after I cut that I need to start with the holes first. So you want some drainage holes on the bottom of your milk jug. The reason that I do this first is because when you cut them, this like wall, it becomes very flimsy, and so it's a lot stronger when it's not cut, so it's easier to put holes in the bottom. I'm using a steak knife, and I use a steak knife because it's just right there in the kitchen, and it's just convenient and easy. You can use a box cutter or whatever kind of knife you want. But I usually do 4 holes, so I'll do 1, I don't know if you can see, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want them to be big enough to where, you know, there's good drainage, but not so big that all your soil falls out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these holes. Sorry for the noise. That's the serrated knife. Kind of making a bunch of noise on this jug. So they don't have to be perfect. They're not pretty, but they will drain. So you can do more holes if you want. This is what I'm doing right now. I might find that this doesn't work and I need to do more or less or something else. But for now, this is what I'm doing, and I'm hoping that it'll work. So after you've put the holes in, you want to take your scissors and you're going to cut. You want it to be just above the bottom of this handle. You're not cutting the handle. I'm just putting the scissors here so you can see where it is. But you're going to cut just above the handle, so that once this is cut all the way around, you'll have like a little hinge. This will serve as a hinge, so it just kind of lets the top come up a little bit, but it doesn't fall off. So I'll show you what I mean as soon as I get it done. So the idea of this is to serve as like a little greenhouse. I have wanted a greenhouse for years, but we just don't have the means to make it happen right now. So maybe one day I'll get a greenhouse, but for now, I'm gonna try this method and see if it works for me. The reason that you don't want to cut this handle is because it serves as a little hinge, as you can see. So when you're ready to plant, you will just go ahead and put your soil in here. Some people say do 2 or 3 inches, some people say do 6 inches. I probably just do maybe like an inch below this, whatever that is on all my milk jugs, maybe like 4 inches or so. And then once you put your soil in there, oh, and you want to use, you don't want to use seed starter soil, you want to use potting soil. So this is going to be its home for a long time, even past like the sprout stage. So you want to use something that has a little bit more nutrients than just seed starter. I like to use an organics potting soil of some sort. I've used Burpee. I'm trying to remember what other ones I've used. I'll have to get on here and make another post about what kind of seed or what kind of potting soil I've used. But nonetheless, this is what it will look like. So you put your soil in here, put your seeds in. I think it depends. You'll have to look at your seed packets and just see how many will fit in. It depends on the plant. So there's no like simple answer for me to give to you of how many seeds to put in. But just look at your seed packet and try not to overcrowd so that they have plenty of room to thrive in here. You do not need to save your lid. This will serve as ventilation and also moisture so that rain can get in. You'll tape your milk jug together after you put your soil and seeds in, and then you'll label it. I'm trying to remember, there is maybe a paint marker that you can use to label this that won't come off in the water, in the rain. I've heard that Sharpies do not work well. They don't stay on for very long. If you do use a Sharpie, I've read that you should come back and rewrite a few times, like throughout the weeks, throughout the season, just come back and like trace over your words. So yeah, it seems pretty simple. It's kind of hands-off for the first little while, and then once they sprout enough to go in the ground, then you can just go ahead and take them out and put them in the ground. And I think you do open them up after, you know, when the weather starts getting warmer, you can open them up and let them have full sunlight, and that does kind of help them to harden off. They'll get some wind and stuff from that to make them stronger when they go in the ground. But yeah, so you just take them out and put them in the ground. I'm far away from needing to use these right now. I won't need these until the spring, but last year I collected them starting pretty early, and I had plenty, but I didn't cut them open, and so I'm cutting them open as I go this year so that I don't have a whole bunch to do in the spring and get overwhelmed and not even get to it, which is what I did last year. So if I cut them as I go, I'm hoping that that will give me more motivation to use them in the spring. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, have not tried this yet, but I just wanted to share this in case you are interested and want to go ahead and start saving your milk jugs, so you have plenty for the spring. But let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer what I know and what I can, and I hope you all have a good day.